up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, we're back here working on the Hellcat. So we got some big things in store for tonight. It's super late already, but we gotta get at it. You know, the work don't stop around here. So what we're doing today, or tonight I guess you could say, if you can look outside, it's dark. It's like, what time is it right now? We're starting right now, and it's 9:18. But we don't care, we're getting it done. So what we got is some engine mods. So I know all y'all been waiting on this stuff, and it's finally here. So let me show you what I got. So what we got going on in these boxes is the same mods that were already on this car. So a lot of you guys know when Tall Guy had this car, it made 1,000 horsepower. So what he had done to this car was a 285 pulley from Metco, which that's what this is, and he had a catch can and he had an exhaust. So what we have here is a catch can, a 285 pulley, and we don't have the exhaust, but an exhaust doesn't add any more power. Exhaust is more for sound and performance, but it's not going to make any more horsepower. So theoretically, we're putting on exactly what he had, so the car is going to be making 1,000 horsepower again. In my opinion, this car never made 1,000 horsepower, even though he said it did. It made like 1,000 crank, but 1,000 crank, if you guys don't know what that means 1,000 horsepower to the actual crank of the motor. The crank is the thing that goes inside it and is going up and down, and that transfers the power to the drivetrain, to the drive shaft, to the wheels. So once you transfer all that power to the wheels, you lose a lot of power. You lose about 20%, I think they say, or 15%. So a car that makes 1,000 crank horsepower actually makes about 800 wheels. So they dynoed this car when he had all these mods on, and it made 805 wheel horsepower at I forget what the shop's called, High Tech Motorsports in Minnesota, where he's from. So we're putting the exact mods he had on it when he, all you guys say, oh, he ripped off all the good stuff. He really didn't rip off a whole lot. He ripped off, what this is right here is a catch can. This one's actually a lot nicer than the one he had on here. This is a full, I think it's UPR makes it. Let's check out, I think there's a, yeah, UPR. UPR makes this catch can. It's a full billet catch cans. It comes with the hoses. All this doesn't make any more horsepower. This just catches the excess oil that comes out of the valve cover. And then also he had the 285 pulley. So if you don't know what that is, if you guys aren't familiar, a 285 pulley is this right here. Here, I'll show you. So here, let me show you what the supercharger pulley is and what a 285. 285 doesn't even matter. That's just the size of the new pulley we're doing. So this is the current pulley. I believe this is a 315, and that's the diameter. So this is the supercharger pulley. This is connected to the belt system. So when you rev the engine, this moves faster, and as this moves, it has fins in here. Once we take this apart, you'll see what I'm doing. And the more you give it throttle, the faster this spins, and the more boost the motor makes. So when you get a smaller pulley, that diameter of the pulley is smaller, so it does more repetitions per throttle. I mean, the more throttle you give it, the faster this spins when you get a smaller pulley. So the smaller the pulley is, the more boost you're going to make. So if you go too small, obviously it's going to make too much power and you're going to have other problems. You're going to run out of fuel. But 285 pulley is really safe and is what Corey was running when he pulled this all apart. So we're pulling off the stock pulley, which is right here, and we're putting on the smaller pulley from Metco. So let's open this up. If you guys don't know, Metco is they're one of the leaders in, I guess, pulleys, and they make a ton of stuff like this. So if you want to buy a pulley for your car, if you have a Hellcat or you have anything that's supercharged, hit them up, and they'll hook you up with a smaller pulley or whatever pulley you want to make more boost. So they hooked us up. I hit them up and asked them if they want to be a part of this build, and they were more than happy. So big shout out to them for that. And I really appreciate it. So let's open this up and take a look inside. Alright, so I'm not sure what exactly is in here. I know there's a pulley, and I think there's the tools to remove all this stuff too, because you need a special tool to remove the pulley. So let's open this up. I believe this is the tool. That's my guess. Yeah, so this is the tool. This tool is designed to go around. You'll see when I start doing it. This is just to remove the pulley from the supercharger snout. So they sent us this out, and then I'm not sure what this is. Let's open this too. Supercharger pulley tool. Oh, okay. So this is a big hex head, or I don't know what you want to call it. It's just a tool to remove the supercharger pulley. It's pretty much part of this kit. And then this right here is the pulley itself. So let's pop this open. I'll show you what we're talking about. See what we're working with. So this is the smaller supercharger pulley. So let me compare this for you guys. You guys can see what I'm talking about. See, if I put this up to this, it's hard to see, but this is a lot smaller. This is like a 315, I think, is the size, and this is a 285. So it's a big difference. You make about, I think, 6 more pounds of boost, 5 more pounds of boost, and the more boost you're making, the faster the car is. So that's why this car made 805 horsepower on the dyno when it was in Minnesota at High Tech Motorsports. So what we're doing today is we're gonna pull this whole supercharger off because this isn't even his supercharger. This supercharger was pulled off his brother's car, and they didn't swap the pulleys or anything. They literally just swapped the whole blower from his car to this car. So it was just a full swap. So this snout has never been off, this supercharger's never been off, but the whole supercharger itself was swapped. So we're gonna get into this. It's super tedious. There's a lot of bolts you gotta take off and stuff, but it shouldn't be too hard. I'm sure we can knock it out in a couple hours. So we're gonna get right at work, and we're gonna start pulling this thing apart and pulling all these bolts out. So wish us luck, and let's get at it. All right, guys, and also I forgot to mention, we're running a green belt. So I'm not exactly sure what the difference between the green and the black is. I just know the green is recommended when you do an aftermarket pulley. I think it's more grippy, and also it's a different diameter. It's a smaller belt because we're running a smaller pulley. So you got to run a new belt too. This is a Gates K100 572 HD. So I don't know if any of you guys need to know that, but first things first is we're gonna pull this. We're gonna pull the serpentine belt off, and then we're gonna pull the supercharger belt off. So let's get at it. Let's start working and hopefully get this banged out. All right, guys, so we just literally started. We started pulling stuff around, and we're already running into some problems. So come look at this, like, real quick. So first of all, look at these bolts. Ready, watch. This is a little tiny ratchet. Ready, watch this. These are like insanely loose. Like, look at that one. Look at that one. Ready, watch this one. That one was loose. I didn't even loosen that one. Like, I swear on everything, I have not. That one literally was loose, and then ready, watch this one. That one was really tight. This one was loose, and these pulled out. Look at this. I'm not sure what type of Mickey Mouse mechanics worked on this thing. I know because Tall Guy showed them, but look at this. There's RTV all over these bolts. This isn't like, you don't run that stuff on this supercharger. Look at, there's RTV all here. This is crazy. So I'm almost scared to see what's under here because there's fins that run up all in the fins of the cooling system to cool the coolant that goes through the supercharger. So we're about to pull this lid off and see what we got going on, because right now these bolts weren't even torqued, because you're supposed to torque 4 foot-pounds and you do it in a certain sequence, and then you do 11 foot-pounds in a certain sequence, and then you finish it off with 22 foot-pounds to finish it off, and you have to do that in a sequence. So 3 torquing sequences all around the supercharger to torque down the lid. So it's already not looking good. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not like this is really bad, but it just shows how they probably just, I don't even know. It looks like some of these were hand tight. That's how tight they were. So I don't know. So we're gonna keep getting into it and get this lid off. So let's keep going at it. Alright guys, so we just got the lid off and we got all the bolts out. So now you can look at the supercharger is ready to tilt up. And let me explain real quick why we're even taking this all apart to remove this. So there is a bolt that is on the bottom of here to remove this whole snout, because to do this you need to get to it from the inside. So you pretty much have to lift the supercharger like this, put something under it, and then you can get to that bolt. But my worries with the RTV are a little bit smaller now, because as you can see, look at, so these are the fins I was talking about. And by the way, if you didn't see, I put a towel in here. Those are what covers the fins. It sucks in the air, so I don't want to get nothing in there. But this is the gasket that the lid goes onto, and I was worried that they put so much RTV on that it was clogging these up, which the good news is it's not. Just for reference, you never ever want to run RTV on a supercharger lid like that. That's just not the right thing, not the right way to do things. I mean, especially not even on just a normal car, on a Hellcat, on a a $70,000 car new, you just don't do that. I don't know why they would do that. I do know why. The new gasket for this, I'm sure they ripped the gasket, and the new gasket is $200. So I'm gonna take the initiative and buy the whole new supercharger gasket kit and run all new gaskets in this. Now looking at this, I didn't think I was gonna have to do that, but spending the $200 is definitely worth it to not use RTV on the Hellcat supercharger. So we're gonna run all OEM gaskets. We're gonna clean this all up, which is gonna backtrack us a lot, because I was planning on doing this whole install in one day tonight, but we're not gonna be able to do that now because I gotta order the gaskets. But we're gonna keep working, and we're gonna get the supercharger snout off. So I gotta tilt the supercharger up, and then once it's up, I'm gonna put a block under here, like a little block of wood, and then I can get to this bolt here and pull the whole thing off. So I wanna show you guys this too. So remember I said that the smaller pulley creates more boost. So when you spin this, you can look at these. So those are your fins that suck in air. So when your motor's moving, this is constantly sucking in air. So when these spin, it sucks in air, and the smaller it is, the faster those spin. So that's what creates more boost. So that's what that is. I just thought I'd explain that to you guys real quick. But let's prop this up, pull this snout off, and swap this pulley. So let's get at it. Alright guys, so we got the snout off, we got the lid off, we got the supercharger propped up, and like I said, the reason you have to prop it up like this is to get to these two lower bolts. So we got those off, and by the way, we did pull the front bumper off just because it was clipped on, it wasn't bolted on, and that gave me better access to get to this stuff. There wasn't any reason to pull it off. You don't need to do that, but I just did that because I didn't want to scratch the paint, and also it just makes it more accessible. But here, check this out. So this is the supercharger snout. So this is your pulley. That's what this tool is for, they sent me. But here, look at this right here. So there is Sharpie writing inside of the snout. I don't know if that's OEM. I'm gonna take a picture of this. I really don't know what that is. I'm gonna take a picture of it and ask some people what that is, but I guess we're really not gonna worry about that. And there is a lot of excess oil in here. I think that's because there's no catch can on the motor, so I think that's why there's a lot of oil residue a lot of places. I don't know if that's normal. I'm by far no expert, but I do know a decent amount. So what we're gonna do now is pop this little cap off. And from what I understood is they swapped the whole supercharger and they didn't mess with this. But from the looks of this, you can tell where they pried at this. So maybe this is the original supercharger. They didn't swap the whole blower, I don't know. But as you can see, this has been pried on. I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's really not that big of a deal. But let's get this swapped over to the new pulley and then put this back on. All right, and what this is, you can hit people with this if they come at you and you need to defend yourself, but also you can use this to take the snout off. So this is a tool that Metco makes, and you put this on there and you put this bolt through here and it holds these splines in so this doesn't turn on you. So we're gonna hit this with the impact once we pop that cap off and remove this. So let's get this taken off. Alright guys, so sadly that is going to be a wrap for this video, and here's why. So I wasn't planning on having to replace any gaskets because I've watched a lot of videos on how to do this. That's the reason I even know how to do this. I've never done nothing like this. Like always, this is all new to me, like this whole build is, but yeah, so I wasn't really planning on replacing any of these gaskets. All the gaskets look like they're good except the supercharger lid. So this is what RTV is. It's just like, it comes in a little squirt bottle, a little squirt tube. It's like a little tube of toothpaste, and you put it on there. So it's high temp. Maybe on some piece of junk you could use that, but that just isn't the way you do things. When you do this stuff, you need to do it the right way. I mean, this is an expensive car, so I mean, even if it's a $200 gasket, you still need to do it. But they were sending this to the auction, so I understand that. I mean, I guess they didn't want to spend the money on the $200 gasket because they must have ripped it or whatever it is. But the other reason is I don't have a torque wrench, so I can't torque down this pulley. This is the hub, or this is the, I don't know what this is called, but this is the hub that goes over it. So this is the new pulley. As you can see, it's like all aluminum or whatever. But yeah, so I don't have a torque wrench to torque that, and I want to put out as many videos as I can, so we could wait a couple days and finish this up, but I'd rather just cut it here and then make another video once it's all done. So like I said, that's going to be a wrap. We did get a lot done. We got the supercharger all taken apart, everything taken apart. So once I get the new gasket and I come up here with my torque wrench, we're going to get this thing banged out. So tomorrow I'm going to go to the dealership and hopefully they have one of these in stock and I can get that gasket and I can get this thing banged out. And once this is done, this car is going to be pretty much roadworthy. There's a couple more little things I need to do. I still need to put that bushing in that sway bar that's making noise. I need a new battery still. I've been holding off on that because I don't want to get a new battery until the car's all done, so it's not just sitting here so I can kill another battery. I want to get a brand new one and then take this thing out. But yeah, we're going to get this all wrapped up, put this back together, and get this thing on the road. So yeah, so let's call it a wrap for this video, and I appreciate y'all watching. Please subscribe because we're trying to grow as fast as we can. We got a lot of cool stuff on the way. A new shop coming, all types of stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. So make sure to leave a comment, drop a like, and I'll catch you later. Peace.